part to my workbench build, and as you can see, I think I'm just about finished with it. The top, I finally decided to use a solid 2-inch wood door. I got one from Habitat from Humanity. I paid $20 for it, so I think that was a pretty good deal. Of course, the inside of the door is particle board, so I wanted to protect the edge where I cut it, so I put this trim all the way around it to protect the particle board from getting wet or bubbling up or something like that. I think it came out pretty nice. Again, the drawers slide in both sides. They seem to be working just fine. I've had a couple comments on a forum that I belong to that said they're not sure they would like that because the drawers would always be out of place. But it's a workshop bench, and as you can see, I can walk all the way around it. So I can work from either side, and I can also pull the doors up from this side here. And I think that far outweighs the hassle of recentering the door every time I open and close it. I like that idea of not having to walk around the bench every time I need something or need to put something away. In the middle here, I was also told by somebody that the bench might lose its stability because there was nothing in the middle here to support it. So I took two 2x4 cross members and crossed them, and then I dadoed them so they would fit flush with each other. In other words, I made a slot so the 2x4s crossed like this, but I made them so the slots so they would be flush with each other. And I put that here in the center, and then I put 2 pieces of plywood and attached it to that cross member, and then made the shelves. These shelves are just some scrap wood I had laying around. One of these days I'll go to Lowe's and get some regular white shelving boards for it. But I hadn't had time to get to Lowe's later, so for the purposes of this video and so I can see what it looked like, I went ahead and just used some scrap that I had laying around here, and they look fine. And also on the bottom here, I don't know if you can see it at that camera angle, but there is a power bar outlet. There's 12 outlets that run across the whole side of this table. But anyway, that's my workbench. I'm going to take the camera off the tripod and walk you around it a little bit. Also, if you remember correctly, I had my boat in here, and so I've done some rearranging and some cleaning, and I've got a couple other things I'm going to show you real quick, and then we're going to call this video part 2 and the finale. So anyway, this is my workbench, and I'll take the camera off the tripod and walk around the shop a little bit. Alright, here's a little closer up view of the workbench. We'll walk around this side. I got my table saw sitting right here, and that's about where it's going to stay, I think. I like it in the middle where I can get to it and I don't have to move it every time that I need it. I've got the space, so I'm going to go ahead and probably leave it about where it's at. On this side of the bench, as you can see, I have my power chargers for my drills mounted to the side of the bench, and the cord wraps around to the power strip that I have mounted on the front. Let me take you back over here so you can see what I'm talking about. That's my power strip. So that's plenty of cords. I can plug just about anything into it. Also, on this bench over here, I put another one. So I actually have 2 of these power strips in the garage. So I got plenty of outlets. Okay, while I was down at Habitat for Humanity to get the workbench top, I ran across this little cabinet. It had $10 on it. I thought, wow, that would make a really cool router table cabinet. But when I got it home, it was a little bit too high for the router table. So I put my drill press on it. And it's a real nice little bench for 10 bucks. Got nice drawers and stuff in it. Plenty of storage down on the bottom. So that was my $10 cabinet from Habitat for Humanity. Then over here, I got this cabinet at a garage sale a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to back it up so you can see the whole thing. I've got it sitting on milk cartons right now. But eventually I'll build a base for it. I didn't want to hang it on the wall because of the way this building is constructed. The plywood is just screwed into those aluminum or metal studs, and I'm not sure how strong those screws and stuff are, so I'm been kind of careful about how not putting anything real heavy on that plywood. So I'm going to make a base for it. But it's a real nice little cabinet that was at a garage sale. And I bought another metal shelf that I'll show you here in a minute for $5. But I didn't have my pickup truck with me. I had my wife's car and it wouldn't fit. So I told her I'd come back later with the pickup truck. And when I came back, she was closing everything up. And she says, if you take this cabinet here, I'll let you have it for $5 too. She says, I don't want to carry it back into the house. It's too heavy. So I said, sure. So $5 I picked this cabinet up. You open up the doors. My best friend gave me that years and years ago. So I thought that was cool, fishing rules. But there's inside of the cabinet. It came with the 3 shelves. And as you can see on the top, I had the accessories from my Rockwell jaw horse. And then on this first shelf, I have all the attachments and stuff that go on that Rockwell. And then I also have a lot of my power tools and things like that stored in here, which is really nice. It's a real nice cabinet. For the price, I couldn't beat it. So that's my power tool cabinet. And of course, I have a little area over here for the wood. I used to keep it in the corner in the front. And it got so cluttered and I couldn't hardly get to it. So I made this little corner here my wood storage. And I've got just scrap pieces and stuff like that, stuff that I think I might use again someday. This cabinet that you've probably seen in videos before is my computer station. I have a laptop computer. I have Wi-Fi access out here, so I can get online and watch videos and stuff while I drink my coffee in the morning. It's also got 3 big drawers on the bottom. The lady was just right up the street from where I live, had it sitting outside, and I stopped at the mailbox to pick up my mail, and she walked up to me and said, if you want that cabinet, you can have it. She says, it's too heavy for me to carry in and out, and I'm getting tired of trying to lug it in and out. And so she said, if you want to come and get it, you can have it. I said, okay. So I jumped up my skid steer, and I took my skid steer up the street and loaded it up in the bucket and brought it home. And so it was actually a free cabinet. It's got real nice, long, deep drawers in it. As you can see, I keep a lot of my storage, a lot of my tools, pens, different types of jigs and stuff like that in it. And it's got 3 big drawers in the front. And of course, it's got the slide out thing for my computer. And of course, the storage all up on top. But that's my free one. And then over here, I took this workbench and moved it over here. It used to be on that back wall. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you've probably noticed that this bench was on my back wall. I haven't had a chance to clean this one up yet. I still got a bunch of stuff to put away and sort through. And but that workbench I've had for a long time. I built that too when I first got the garage built. That was the first thing I did, is build this bench. It came out pretty decent. It's a good sturdy bench. I've got my Delta grinder over there on the corner. It's doing real good. And I got my toolboxes and stuff over here. This cabinet here is the one I bought for $5 at a garage sale when I bought that cabinet there. I actually had bought this one first, and then when I came back to pick it up, she offered me that other one for $5. It's an old store type, like end cap or something, but it works real well to put my parts and screws and nuts and bolts and stuff on. And then I used to keep my wood on this cabinet, so it's just for storage now. Let's walk over here. I made this cabinet here. I've had it for a long time. I took a piece left over from the door that I put on my new workbench and made a wider top for it, so I could put both my belt sander and the disc sander, Harbor Freight disc sander, on top. And if you'll notice, I put it right next to the window because I'm going to get one of those double fans that you can either exhaust or blow, and I will put an exhaust fan in there, and hopefully that'll help with some of the dust when I'm using the sanding station. Anyway, this cabinet here I've had for a long time, and this is the Craftsman router that I just purchased at on Craigslist. I got the router table, the 2 routers, and a bunch of bits for $90, and it's just like new. So I'm real happy with that router table. The router table is actually on wheels. I can slide it out. Oops, something dropped, one of those roller things. And that's my retractable wheels for the router table. All I do is take this stick, move it down like that, and the router table's on the ground. There's one on each side to pick the router table up so I can move it. It just goes up like that. And now, of course, it's on its casters. But that's my router table now. Like I said, I wanted to use that cabinet there, but it was a little bit too tall. This one here is just the right height. And I can put it up against the wall, or I can bring it out and use it so I have more room if I need to. And of course my bandsaw there, I've had that little cabinet stand for a long time. It's been sitting in the back 40 getting rusty, so I decided to bring it in, put a tabletop on it, and use it for my bandsaw. Works real well. And then of course, last but not least, my sink area. I have running water in the garage, so when I get done during the day, at the end of the day, I can clean up and not bring all my grit and crud and sawdust into the house. Anyway, that'll be the end of this part 2 video of my workbench. And my next build is going to be, what did I do with it? Right here, I bought a desk deputy that I'm going to make a cabinet for my vacuum cleaner. Desk deputy is like a 2-stage system. This is what you do. If I can get a decent picture of it here, get out of the shadow. It's like a 2-stage system for your vacuum cleaner. It keeps all the dust and small particles from clogging up your filter in your vacuum cleaner, and actually catches it into a 5-gallon bucket. It's called a Oneida Air Systems Dust Deputy. So my next project is going to be make a cabinet for it. I want to build something that actually sits on top of the vacuum cleaner so it doesn't take up so much floor space. And I'll probably start my next video working on that. So that's it for now, YouTube. And I hope I gave you some ideas for a workbench. And you'll probably see it a lot in my videos because it's going to be my main bench. And we'll see you next time.